Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michael and this is Happy Ghost Reacts. Today we're going to be reacting to Attack on Titan Season 4 Episode 2 Midnight Train. Last episode we followed Marley on their assault of the Middle East Alliance. After a successful plan to handle the armored train by Gabi, Marleyan forces were able to successfully begin to advance on Fort Slava. After a successful kinetic bombardment, aka Raining Titans, Reiner came down to aid in the assault on the interior of the fort. Reiner was met with weapons that not even his armor could handle, and they had a hidden train that circled the inside of the fort, which Reiner handled while sustaining moderate damage to his Titan body. After successfully taking over the fort with the aid of Galliard, Zeke was able to safely come down to use his insane throwing arm to use the shells on the Middle East forces navy. During that, they shot at the same time to kind of like throw Zeke off, and in the heat of the moment, Reiner had to throw himself in front of Zeke to save him from Zeke being killed, probably. After this, Zeke was able to continue to throw the bombs, or the shells, excuse me, at the Navy, completely wiping them out, which then allowed them to then strong arm the Middle East forces into the peace treaty that they signed at the end. And the reason that this happened most likely is because they did not return from Paradise with the Founding Titan, the Attack Titan, the Colossal Titan, and Annie, aka the female Titan. One part I did not mention, which is at the beginning of all of that actually, that I wanted to touch on because I didn't last episode, was there was the opening scene of the first episode of the season. I feel like has a lot more significance to it than a lot of people realize. And by that I mean there are a lot of similarities between the opening of Season 4 Episode 1 and Season 1 Episode 1. And what I mean by that is that Falco woke up from, I know that in this case he wasn't napping like Eren was, but he woke up from traumatic damage that knocked him unconscious for a minute or put his brain in some sort of trance from all the shaking around of his brain. But once he got back, saved by his brother Colt, into the trench, and he was met by all the other potential candidates to take over as the warrior, aka Reiner's successor. He said the words, he thought he was flying around with swords and titans. And during the editing, that's when I read that, and I just kept like having to go back and see it said over and over again. And the more it sunk into my head, I'm like, while that seems like a very insignificant line to some, I feel like this is one of those situations where he was having some sort of like vision, like Eren did right before the Colossal Titan struck on the walls. As well as it could also be, this is another theory of mine, is that this could be potential shared memories, a different form of seeing it, because as we saw at the end of Season 3 with Eren Kruger, the owl, he had memories of Eren Yeager being Mikasa and Armin that he mentioned to Eren's dad. Again, these are just my observations. It could be nothing, but one thing I've learned in Attack on Titan is even the most minute scene or detail has extreme significance sometimes when you can go back and watch it all, having known stuff in the future, like the pieces falling into place, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'm super excited to jump back into this. I am curious to see the extent of Reiner's damage done to his body, because he did really take a beating there at the end. And I also am not, I've been thinking about it since I watched the first episode. I'm not too sure how long he has left. I understand that it's been at least 4 years since they got back from Paradise, probably a little longer, because I don't think that they would have jumped right into a war. So I would say, I don't know. And then it was not, if that's the case, then it's been almost 10 years or something like that since he used the power to break the walls on Paradise. So that means that he's got to be coming to the end, because he had to have been trained with it before he was sent to Paradise to go and retrieve the Founding Titan. So I'm gonna guesstimate that he has at the very most 3 years left, but I'm assuming it's a lot less. Same with Zeke. They already have a successor picked out for him, who is Colt. I don't know how long Zeke has had the Beast Titan power, so I guess maybe we'll find out this episode. But yeah, I'm sorry I'm going on rambling. I've been thinking about all of this since I watched the first episode, because I genuinely enjoy the show. I really enjoy the story, and I do really try to pay attention to details, even though it felt like I wasn't last episode. I was just sucked in. The action was so cool. I've been waiting for it. It was just, my brain was just focused on watching the episode. So yeah, I guess without further ado, I'm gonna stop my rambling and let's get into this. Season 4, Episode 2, Midnight Train.
半島の自治権をめぐる戦争に4年も費やした挙句、敵艦隊とこちらの主力の巨人2体があわや差し違える失態を演じた。人類の
They're talking about how it ended. They're firing at each other.
マガド、これはどういうことだ？元帥殿、いよいよその時が来たのです。人類が巨人の力を超えるその時が。我々が巨人の力を過信し、植民地政策を進める中、諸外国はそれに抗うべく兵器の開発に。
Yeah, those weapons that they had, they were really strength to the normal Titans.
このまま航空機が発展していけば、爆弾が雨のように降り注ぐ。その時には大地の悪魔たる巨人はただ空を見上げ続けるほかなくなるでしょう。
Wow. No wonder they're looking up and talking about bombs.
巨人はいなかったか。元帥殿、つまり我々はもう巨人の力。分かっておる。
Do we not have Titans with wings? I was just talking about how Falco was saying flying with swords and Titans. The Wonder Boy.
今我々に必要なのは軍備再編までの時間。それには一刻も早くマーレがパラディ島を占拠し、すべての巨人の力を収めたという新聞の見出しが必要なのです。お前の任期はあと1。
Oh, there's the answer to my question. He's been a Titan for 12 years.
コルトが私の獣の能力をすべて引き継げるのかとても不安でして。そうだな。
And they really got some time crunch. I love this music. Alright, let's get into it. Midnight Train.
素晴らしかったです。エルディア人がマーレ軍元帥に意見を通すなんて。ジークさんの獣の能力は歴代とは全く違う。まるで話に聞く始祖の巨人だ。どうして特別なんでしょう。王家の血を引いているわけでもないのに。さあな。
Oh, nobody knows that he's of royal blood.
記憶を継承するお前には知られちまうかもな。俺の秘密を。秘密？
He is royal blood. That's his big secret. Zeke looking terrified? They do have a colossal titan now. Curious where Annie's at. The Ackermans. Oh, this is Galliard in his human form.
前に俺が鎧を継承していればこんなことにはならなかった兄貴がお前をかばってその辺の巨人に食われる
Oh, it's his brother who's eaten.
艦砲射撃を食らった人をいじめちゃダメだよ。
その名で呼ぶなピグ。大丈夫か
The Cart Titan's a woman?
2ヶ月ぶりだからね。疲れた。
She was in Titan form for 2 months.
こんな機会めったにないよ。
さんは寝てた方がいいんじゃないですか
Reiner Braun.
心配ない
Oh, he sees.
待って
He saw him and his younger crew in them.
ガビは800の投資に代わり果敢にも装甲列車に挑んだんだぞ
ちょっとコルト。
Oh, cults. Rock.
スタビア人部隊のために他ならない
She deserves the recognition. Hell yeah.
俺の巨人を継承するのは俺です
そうだお前がガビを救い出すんだこの真っ暗な俺たちの未来から
Oh, so he doesn't want Gabby to get it. Ooh. A new town.
欲しそうな顔してたから。
It's still so weird to me to think that the Cart Titan was a woman.
車両中に吐き散らすなんて昨晩
I guess just the design you wouldn't been able to tell. Coin flip.
実際大活躍だった。
Wonder how long she has left.
ブラウン副長もし副長が俺と同じく
Vice Chief Reiner Braun.
戦争から解放した
二人とも。あんま無理しちゃダメだよ。
And she's so sweet for being somebody who in the Titan form is like... I don't even know how to explain it. Just... Guess you can't judge somebody based on their Titan form.
ジークじいちゃんばあちゃん
The grandparents that he went with after turning in his family. Well, his parents.
夢を果たしたないやまだだよ
This is a sweet moment. But every sweet moment in Attack on Titan is followed by something that's a million times worse than whatever you think is about to happen.
ライナ。疲れたでしょ。帰ってゆっくり。
Oh, this is his family.
母さんそうさせてもらうよ
It's so cool being able to see everybody's family.
どうですか落ち着いてくださいあなたは腕章が逆だ大丈夫ですよきっと良くなりますよもうあなたは戦わなくていいんですから
I feel like that was more significant than you think.
作戦大成功。
Wrong arm.
私に機関銃を撃ってきた。鉛
I think he's. I don't know.
すごいわガビ。
お前の勇気が多くの同胞の命を救ったんだお前はエルディアの救世主だ
あなたは自慢の娘よ。
This is the exact opposite of what I would expect from people hearing their kid was about to die.
あとはあの島に住む悪魔ども
Is that his younger sister?
エルディア人はみんな幸せになれるのにね
Is Gabby his younger sister?
でもライナ
どんなに辛い目にあったか。機密情報じゃなくたって言えないよ。
そうだな我が甥よ
No. Cousin.
いや
Cousin?
話せることもある
I suck with family name. Like what? Who is to who? I don't know.
連中
いろんな奴らって何？悪い奴らでしょ。
そうだよガビ島にいるのは世界
Reiner is trying to still fight between thinking that they're bad people and knowing that they're just people who are scared.
それを阻止するのは私たち善良なエルディア人でなくてはならない
Either being trained that people that are just as them are bad.
島に逃げ
What? What was that?
ガビ
What was that? Did somebody just kill themselves?
おばさんすごく心配してたよ。島から一人だけ帰ってきて。
Who just killed themselves?
兵隊さんだって。
かわいそうに
全員揃ったな
珍しいですね戦士長の部屋に集合なんてマーレ軍の人は
この部屋にはいないお茶ぐらいたまにはいいだろう
はあ
さて先の戦いで通常兵器が巨人兵器を
Four titans in one room.
確に知ればとまずは改めて
島の脅威を強く世界に知らしめなければならない。物語には語り手が必要だ。それをタイバー家が引き受けてくれるそうだ。
潜水の巨人を管理するタイバー家。
The
確か
Warhammer
にタイ
Titan.
バー家は一度も
俺たちは
これで祖国マーレが救われるならありがたいことです。俺たち戦士隊もタイバー家と協力して英雄国マーレ復活の礎となりましょう。
そうだ。
This family holds the ninth
祭事が行われる。
the ninth Titan that we haven't seen before.
要人や記者を招いてタイバー家は宣言を行う。1年以内にパラディ島を制圧すると。
It's a bold claim.
マーレの運命はこの作戦にかかっている。もう失敗は許されない。祖国マーレの未来のために今一度皆の心を一つにしよう。ガリアードは多少不満があるようだが、
Well, people are listening in.
徹底するやつだ。
密室でこの内容なら問題ないだろう。
Oh no, they're spying.
この一言がなければ。この部屋にはいないか。
It was bugged.
俺はまた行くのか。あの島へ。
Well, that episode kind of was very, I guess, story forward. It was very interesting to see all the different things. Like, we got to see Zeke actually kind of look afraid for once, or rather, not be the top dog. Like when the I don't exactly remember what his role was, but when he walked over to him and Bolt having that conversation about his secret being passed on to Bolt when he has to inherit him a year from then. He had that like face to him, and then on the train, when Reiner talked about how he basically said that he wants Falco to be the one to inherit it, which I guess further tells me that my assumption that I talked about at the beginning about him seeing memories or shared memories, I believe he's going to be the one who probably inherits it at some point in the season. I'm very curious to see how this gets played out with Gabby, because she's like hell-bent on getting this, and come to find out she's related to him in some fashion. I'm very bad with being able to think of like the right word for them, like cousin, or I don't know what exactly they are to each other off the top. You can tell me in the comments, but and then him talking about the way that he had it there, it was kind of like one of those soldier versus warrior moments, or the way he was talking about it. They're supposed to be trained to think that the Eldians who ran away onto that wall, or well, rather to paradise, are devils, and that they should be all exterminated so that they can get back the founding Titan and save Marley from eventually being overthrown by advancing technologies that are making the Titans basically useless. Because what we saw in the first episode is that Zeke can't even go down anymore, like as a frontline type of Titan, unless the offensive stuff from the enemies is taken out, because even Reiner was experiencing difficulty trying to take over Forest Lava. But I'm super excited to see this now, because they're talking about going back to Paradise and trying one last time to get the founding Titan from Eren. And obviously we're going to see that this season, and I'm very curious to see how it plays out. With the ships not returning, it makes me wonder if it has something to do, because it's been so many years, Armin has most definitely had to have practiced, or well, rather turned into and practiced being the Colossal Titan, so maybe they're using him as a way to throw stuff at the ships that are there, or pick them up, or do whatever they're doing with them, because he would be the biggest one to be able to do that. And I mean, it's kind of similar to Zeke with his throwing arm, and we saw Bertholdt in the last season. Like, there's a lot you can do with the Colossal Titan, so yeah. And the other thing was seeing Galliart's human form. That was very cool. He was the brother of the first Jaw Titan when they went over with Annie, Bertholdt, and Reiner, who was eaten by Ymir. Then Ymir returned it to then have the brother that she ate eat her, and then become the Jaw Titan. And then apparently Galliard was supposed to, or was in the picking for being the Armored Titan 8 years ago, or however many years ago he said. So he could have potentially been going with his brother instead of Reiner, which is interesting to know. And then, I mean, that random moment there where at the middle of the night where that soldier just killed himself, we don't even know who it is yet. I'm curious to know who it is. There was just so much that like happened this episode that we learned about. Oh, the other thing was that the Cart Titan is a female. I would have never guessed. I just, there's so much to soak in this episode. I mean, I don't even. I mean, if I missed anything, please let me know. But like, I'm still like sure that even furthered on all of the information that I've learned from this episode alone, that Falco's words at the beginning of the last episode with the flying with swords and titans, or flying with swords and with titans, has a lot more significance than people are realizing. So yeah, I think that's that's all my brain is able to think of right now. But yeah, thank you all for watching my reaction for Season 4 Episode 2 Midnight Train of Attack on Titan. I'm already super excited to jump into the 3rd episode because every episode is just making me theorize more and more on what's going to happen. But yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.